Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hey,
Look
guys.
at that magic movie transition like that. Isn't that magic? It's crazy. It's crazy what zero money to an editor will get you these days. I tell you what. How y'all doing, everybody? Welcome to a little fun thing. To a little gas that we have called you gotta see this.
Aftercare. Now that song's stuck in my head. So we just watched a movie called Scooby-Doo, the movie.
Jinkies indeed. What a wild, wacky experience that we're gonna dive on into. As always, it's me, your boy, bootyswagga. Joined as always by my lovely co-host.
Yep.
Sheesh. And man, oh man, I have so much to unpack about this movie. It was a lot to take in.
Yeah. No, but yes, but also no.
It was very, very kidsy, colorful. It was very vibrant and silly. It was, you know what it was like? Like a Warhead's candy. It was very sour up front. It was very intense on the forefront. But then after the first 10 seconds of watching it, it was just kind of bland. And then I just kind of had to leave it in my mouth until it was over.
Like a jalapeno popper, but you're afraid of spice, so you take the jalapeno out.
Exactly just like that. Exactly just like that.
Neutered, if you would. However, I still enjoyed it. I still liked it. It went so much faster than I remember it going, and there's a lot of celebrity cameos that neither of us remembered, like the Pamelas.
Yeah, the Pamela Anderson had a doll factory, which I think is one of my just favorite little details that I don't think I'll remember afterwards.
Right.
Because I definitely didn't remember that little facet when I was 12 watching this movie. In all honesty, like you said, it has one of the craziest ensemble casts I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Every single person was so incredibly famous in the main cast.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was at the top of their game when this movie came out. They were all over Teen Beat magazine. It was crazy. What were some of the good things that you could recommend about this movie?
Some good things that I could recommend. The sets. The sets, they look straight out of Crash Bandicoot, which is fun. The best thing that I can take from it is a timepiece to the year it was released. Movies that are like modern date, people dress how they would in that time, or they speak how they would. I always appreciate that because you get to look back and you get to remember where you were during that time, and I don't know. So that's me.
I loved the sets. I loved the world that they built. I loved Spooky Island. I loved the tiki themes. I loved all the costumes. They were so campy. They were so cheesy, but it really did feel like it was a real life cartoon. They really nailed the childlike Scooby-Doo cartoon brought to life. And I really enjoyed the start of the film when it only was 2 years prior, but all of their aesthetic was still very much in the 70s look. Like Fred had his long hair and the ascot and the big sweater, and everyone just looked straight out of the cartoon. Fast forward 2 years, and all of a sudden everyone's look is modernized. I love that. I thought it was like a fun take, and it was such a time capsule. You always can tell a movie takes place in the early 2000s when you see more than two grown men wearing puka shell necklaces. It brought back a lot of memories seeing that. And Mark McGrath. I just love the cast. Every single person I can rave about. I love Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes.
I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. Matthew Lillard is the fucking GOAT.
He kept blowing me away with his performance.
Matthew Lillard.
He was acting his shit out of that.
And last but not least, I gotta always shout out my boy Mr. Beans. Mr. Beans. Everything that man does makes me laugh. He can punch a baby and it's the funniest thing in the world.
Well, you would love that. You would love that if Mr. Bean punted a baby.
Yeah,
you'd be like, good show.
That's what I said. Everything he does, punting a baby, it'll make me laugh. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love Mr. Beans. It's pretty obvious, but what's the bad? What is the Scooby-Doo-Doo of this movie?
The Scooby-Doo-Doo, on top of it all, is the Scooby-Doo. That's it. The fucking dog. Just the CG. Pretty weak.
It is funny looking back because that was, some can argue, some of the best that they had at the time. But nowadays, with what we have, with Avatar 17 releasing and James Cameron developing new eyes to watch movies in or something, I'm sure, it just definitely hits different. But man, going back to movies that really heavily relied on a CGI main character, it is painful to try and get to.
How did you feel about the plot, like the overall writing of it? Because as we know, it was written by James Gunn.
Yeah.
So, did you think that the story was good?
Honestly, no. The story itself was just nonsensical and kind of just silly and goofy. Their plans were so dumb. They had no thought to anything. They could have just tipped over the bowl of souls, but instead they had like wires hanging all over. They were spelunking in this cave. They were going full descent, and it just was maddening. My biggest hate that stems from the cartoons to this movie, Scrappy Doo. Scrappy Doo is the fucking worst character.
Or like Scrappy Doo.
And I just don't understand why they had to include him in this movie. I just feel like this movie was a whole lot of missed swings, but I feel
so much heart though.
I feel with what the actors had, they did their best. I think all the main crew is phenomenal. I just think they really had nothing to work with.
Yeah, bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts.
They did a great job, and it was still a silly, fun movie, and I guess kids can watch it, whatever.
Yeah, I think that was the main issue. They wanted to make sure kids can watch it.
Fuck them kids.
They ruin everything, really. This movie had a lot of moving parts to it, and it's gonna be a tricky task for Yeb to explain the plot.
Oh no. Okay, so fun fact, I was lost halfway through this, but I'm gonna do my best. So here's the old college try Scooby-Doo movie, the plot summarized. I got this. Watch this. Check it out. So it opens on the mystery gang solving crimes, but they just can't seem to work like a team anymore because, I don't know, no one gives Velma any attention. Is this movie just about Velma? Anyway, besides the point, they end up breaking up, and then about 2 years later, they all get the same invite to the same island to solve a case. Glass Nunion, anyone? Besides that, they get there, they realize, well, I guess we gotta work together. They put on their old mystery solving suits. Lots of wardrobe changes. Actually, I kind of like that part. And then they get to this island called Spooky Island, where the indigenous people were being, like, used for profit by the owner of the island. I mean, that's the only thing we could really glean from it. We find out that people are acting bizarrely? Strange. They're acting strange, and no one knows why, so that's why they're there to figure it out. They end up finding out that Hank Azaria kind of looking guy is collecting people's souls, but he's also secretly working for Rowan Atkinson, who is the owner of the island, who called them there in the first place. And then there's a whole lot of things that are a lot of plot holes. We find out that they were collecting souls because they wanted to make a like NPC army of these weird demon goblin creatures that jump up from a chasm that looks like a green pussy in the ground. For some reason that we actually still don't know up until the very end when they defeat Rowan Atkinson, but they find out it's not Rowan Atkinson at all. It's Scrappy Doo, and he just wanted to stick one to Scooby-Doo and the gang. That's what the whole thing was about. It was about them. But they end up defeating him, and Velma gets her day in the sun, and I think that's it. Then they go home.
Love that.
Did I do good?
I think you Scooby did it. We got a little film theory we need to talk about with you all.
Yeah.
We got a discussion for you. We briefly touched on it a little earlier.
Yeah.
There is an internet holy grail, if you will, regarding this movie. A piece of internet history that is proven to be true. It exists, but finding it is so hard. The original cut was meant to be a rated R version. It was supposed to be a send-up of the cartoon. It was supposed to be very much more profane, a lot more sexual, a lot more drug use. And obviously, we got the movie that we did, but there are still remnants of it out there, of this R-rated cut.
And if you haven't seen the deleted scenes, we're going to talk about some, because they literally fill in many plot holes to the movie. Things that you're like, well, why? literally the deleted scenes. The thing that bugged me the most, what was taken out of the film, there's a bunch of flashbacks when they're all meeting up again at the airport. And they're specifically talking about what they've been doing since they've seen each other within these 2 years. And Fred's is fine. Velma's are kind of like, okay. Daphne's completely explains her ability to kick anyone's ass. She's been in training with like Shaolin monks and can like do like quadruple backflip kickflips and shit.
My girl studied the martial art of the wire fight.
So she took self-defense classes because she felt that she was being used as bait too much. She wanted to be useful. So that's why she kicked the Nacho Libre man's ass.
It's true.
And fought everyone else thereafter.
I think Velma, from the original script to the version that we got, is so different from his original vision. James Gunn has gone on record saying in his original script, it wasn't toying around. It wasn't like a cheeky one-liner. Velma was 100% gay icon in his version.
On my Pride Month?
Not only that, but Daphne was very openly bisexual in this version as well.
Nice.
So there's so much sexual overtones between Velma and Daphne in this James Gunn rated R version that audiences hated it. But there still is remnants of this version. There's a scene that is constantly referred to online where Velma, being possessed by the demons, does what my favorite way is how they describe this dance. They say Velma does a racy dance. I love that word. She does a racy dance where she's basically just in like a swimsuit and a skirt. And the racy dance is her going like...
Yeah, it's very like Elaine dancing in
It's
Seinfeld.
very not sexual at all. Reading all the things about it of like Velma had a sexy dance in a girl's locker room with Daphne, and I went, oh fuck, this is gonna be some rated R shit. And literally Velma's just like, hey,
I'm just getting my swerve on.
I'm swerving. I've never been more turned off in my life, so I guess I Scooby don't.
I think it's the simple fact that she's in a bikini that made it racy.
It's so watered down that Shaggy was visibly smoking weed in multiple scenes they reference. It wasn't just like oh, Mary Jane, like that's my favorite name, zoinks. It just so boggles me that you can make...
Boggle.
What is your boggle?
Boggle.
That you can take a character like Shaggy and be like, he totally isn't high right now. And as a kid, I don't even think about it. But as an adult looking back, oh my God, he's smoking hella fucking weed. And I don't know why that did not occur to me as a child. But as an adult, I'm like, where's the weed?
It was a little disappointing in how much it was toned down, but I really hope that someday, somewhere, someone will find the missing version, the missing link, the rated R Scooby-Doo that we all deserve.
The Ark of the Covenant.
If you were in the Scooby-Doo Cinematic Universe, and you were the villain of a Scooby-Doo episode, what kind of property would you be trying to scheme, and what kind of monster would you take the persona of?
Ooh, okay, this is fun. Have you seen like the Hex Girls?
No.
In the Scooby-Doos?
What?
So I don't actually remember this too well because I was very young when I saw this, but I think, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but there was an episode of Scooby-Doo where they involved the Hex Girls, which is a band, an all-girl band, and they were like performing on this stage, but every time they went to go perform, there would be like some kind of ghoul that would chase them off, and they were like, help us, mystery people. I wouldn't be the Hex Girls. I wouldn't do that. I would simply be like I want to say like wailing, screeching, loud, high-pitched monkey that would keep you from going to your favorite venues. That would be me. I would just swing in and I'd ruin it for everybody.
Like a phantom monkey of the opera, but of like a concert.
Yes.
The phantom monkey of the concert.
Just like that. You made that's my
ringtone. That's basically it. Someone get Andrew Lloyd Webber on the phone right now. I got the next big idea. I don't know the Hex Girls. That doesn't ring a bell at all.
They're very popular on the internet, so you should check them out. Seriously.
What version of Scooby-Doo is that?
They were still
cartoons.
cartoons.
That's not the classic Scooby-Doo at all.
I can show it to you. I just barely remember it. I just know that as I got older, people were like, y'all remember the Hex Girls? They had fits, they had fucking songs.
This is such a fun one because I feel there's so many places I would love to haunt Because if you know me, there's nothing I would love more than just the prospect of just terrorizing and tormenting children. So it would be somewhere that would cause the most distress. I would love to be some sort of like snake monster in a ball pit.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Like
I love
it would turn into like a Discovery Zone or a Chuck E. Cheese where it would be like a haunted ball pit or something.
But
and
ball
my
pits
plan
get
would
dirty.
well, my plan, hear me out. My plan would involve some sort of trap door under the ball pit where I would ensnare my victims, and then it would have a whole elaborate thing. But I would be some sort of like snake monster in a ball pit. That'd be my grand dastardly plan.
To fuck with children.
Absolutely, it would just be because I hate children, and something about like a burial ground that the ball pit was like built on. That's usually how the story goes.
Oh.
So if you had to give this movie a rating out of 10, how does it make you feel? What's your first instinct?
Honestly, I thought I was gonna go higher. I'll admit that. But after watching this movie and being sad that it didn't include a lot of the deleted scenes, I'm gonna give it a 6. That is the lowest rating I've given a movie so far. And all of you gotta see this.
I am giving this movie nothing favorable. I feel like the only reason it is getting the score it is getting is because Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Linda Cardellini, and Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
Did I say him already? Anyways, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. And Mr. Beans, that makes
Mr.
5
Beans.
points. 5 of my favorite people in this movie gives it 5 points.
Good.
I'm going to give it a 5.1. I'll give the 10th of a point for Mark McGrath and Sugar Ray. Always happy seeing Sugar Ray. And anytime Sugar Ray makes an appearance, I got to give credit for that.
Yep.
Credit is where credit's due. 5.1. You heard it here. So yeah, I guess, is there anything you want people to take away from this? Is there anything, last words you want for Scooby-Doo? Would you recommend this for people? Is this you gotta see this?
I hope that you watched it along with us. But maybe after you're done, put that one away. Maybe. And also go check out the music. The OG music, because it's really good.
You heard it here. I think this movie is definitely worth a one for. And might I indulge you to watch it along with us. But after that, you're probably good for getting it. But I think it's a fun trip. I think it's a fun movie to watch with some friends, especially if you're a Scooby-Doo fan or just want a little nostalgia blast from the past. As always, you know what really helps this channel? If you like this content, if you like seeing this, perhaps consider liking and subscribing. And most importantly, if you want us to see the channel succeed, the best thing you could do is literally watch our content. YouTube loves you watching more of our things. So if you really want to support us, keep watching our videos. That would make us really happy. Share it with all your friends. There's a little share link down below. YouTube loves anytime you click any of the buttons, YouTube loves it. So thank you for your support.
It gets so excited. It's like, ooh, stop. Okay, like, keep going. Ooh. Anthropomorphic YouTube.
Ooh. And as always, my friends, my name is bootyswagga, joined as always by my lovely co-host.
Yeah.
Nailed it. This was you gotta see this.
Aftercare.
That was a good one. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. I forget already what movie we watched.
We watched Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I love him.
And his mall murder mystery. Oh, we're still on? Why are you here? We're having a private conversations. Oh, you are so nosy. Do the how do you spell your name? What are you? A viewer? V-I-E-W. You should just go. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.